Dave, what did you think about the draw? Is it about what you thought?
You know, you never know. I don't know how I feel. You know, I felt like Oral Roberts would be here, awfully good team, and, you know, they're in the regional every year. They seem to play well second half of the season, and as they did again this year. And then, you know, with Southern Miss and Dallas Baptist, I mean, I didn't know there, obviously. I think it's a really good field. All three teams are very offensive, and I guess what you get out of this regional is you got teams that are used to being in regionals. You know, it's not like it's a new experience or they're going to come in here nervous. These teams playing regionals, and it's going to be a great tournament.
Does that make it tougher for you guys that you're getting teams that have a lot of NCAA experience?
Well, it could. You know, I mean, our thing is, and what we talk about is we just need to play well. We just take care of what Arkansas can do. You know, and then we got a shot. If we don't, you know, it won't go good. So, you know, we're just looking at Friday and Oral Roberts and beating their lefty. He's awfully good. I think he's 8-1 on the season. I'm sure we'll see him again.
How did you set up your starting rotation?
Still not sure yet. Probably need a day or two. See how Blaine's feeling. You know, obviously Murphy's would be a lot fresher, so it'll be one of those two.
How do you feel about Casey's season, Murphy's season, and just if he is, he's obviously going to throw game one or two. So how do you feel about him for the regional?
Well, he's had a really good season for us. We haven't supported him in some games, scored him enough runs, but he seems to pitch well through 5, 6, 7 just about every time we give him the ball. And you know, I just feel like that he's confident. He's that lefty. He gives you a chance every time you put him on the mound.
Do you care who gets picked for the regional, or is it nice to see a few different names show up today?
You know, it really doesn't matter to me. Again, you know, I just want to make sure that we're ready to play and we're healthy. And when we throw the first pitch on Friday, that, you know, we feel like, you know, we're going to put our best foot forward and play well. So I would have to say it doesn't matter to me if it's, you know, team from the area or from far away. It's really about how we play.
We talked to you before about it, but playing that early game as the home team to start the region.
Yeah, I like playing the early game. I think it gives you a chance to battle weather if there's any weather issues. It gives you a little bit of an opportunity to recover a little bit longer, win or lose. And, you know, there's a few other advantages, but, you know, you don't have to sit around all day. You just go out there and play.
It's better for newspaper deadlines. Did that factor into your
Had nothing
decision?
to do with it.
It's the same lefty Oral Roberts had last year that was good, right? What's his repertoire?
Just a really good competitor, number one. Upper 80s, 90 mile an hour was what he was last year, and he threw a breaking ball and a changeup, and just, you know, competed. And, you know, he held us down pretty good last year. It was a tight game. He's a good pitcher. Like I said, last time I checked, he'd won 7 or 8 games, so he's their guy.
I know there's some roster turnover every year, but this will be the third straight year you guys have played him. How does that factor into this matchup?
Well, it just means that we know each other a little bit better. But, yeah, there's definitely been some turnover. We're different. We've got a few freshmen playing, a couple guys that weren't here a couple years ago. Obviously, they played last year, and they're the same way. I mean, they got a few of the same guys, and, you know, we just, you know, like I said, we just need to play well.
About a year and a half, 2 years ago, when you were putting the schedule together, you said it's the type of schedule that gets you a national seed. Now that you feel like that was
if we won enough games. Obviously, I knew who we were going to play in conference on the road, and, you know, the 3 other seeds, national seeds, were the 3 teams we played on the road in league play, and played some pretty good games against them. Didn't win them all, but obviously didn't win the series, but played them tight. Won 3 of those, you know, games, and you know, I just felt like it would get us ready. And we did win enough that, you know, with our strength of schedule being, I think, second, and I guess our RPI ended up third, you know, that's one reason we, you know, got to, you know, be selected as one of the top 8.
You think being number 5 overall, was that good, fair for you guys?
Good with me. I mean, to me, it's all the same. Just, you know, if you win, you get to stay home. If you're not in the top 8, there's a possibility you're going on the road. So, you know, but our focus totally is this regional, and, you know, we got to get through it.
How big was it for your infield and your depth to get Biggers back, where you can bring Wilson and Kenley off the bench?
Well, I think it's big. It's big getting that experience out there, and it was really good to see him swing the bat well. I think he 6 official at bats in the tournament, something like that. He got 3 hits, a couple walks. I don't know. Did a really nice job. Didn't have a lot of action. The first game he played, Biggers didn't even get a ground ball. A couple this last game, so it's good. It gives us some options, and it also gives us a guy that's been in the middle of it.
What do you think about the SEC representation in the field in Kentucky? I know they had a losing record in the league. They had 30 RPI. They didn't make it in.
Well, obviously, I think the representation of our league was about as good as it can be. 10 teams from one league. It's hard to do. We talked about at the beginning of the year that we as coaches felt like the league was going to be really deep. Obviously, we still feel that way. That there weren't a lot of weekends where you could go into the weekend and say, if we play good baseball, we're going to win 2. You had to play really good baseball to win 2. And, as far as Kentucky, they're a very, very talented team. Had some injury issues like we all did, and, lost a lot of games early, started fighting their way back out of it, and then struggled down the stretch again. And I think the fact that they were 13-17 in SEC play is what ultimately got them when they compared them. But if you look at their resume, it's pretty good. They beat a lot of really good teams, a lot of good non-conference wins against some big-time, teams that are in the regionals. So, I see that they have a beef, but I guess it was just a bad year for them to not win too many games in the league play due to the fact that we had 10 other teams already getting in.
29-3 at Vaughn this year. What has made you so good at home, do you think?
It's hard to put your finger on it, actually. I mean, we played well here. We fielded the ball, and we've got timely hitting and pitched extremely well. Fans come out all the time, and they've been great. So it's hard to say. I just think that, some years it's different than others, but this year the guys have gotten on a little bit of a roll here. Hopefully we can keep it up.
You mentioned the defense. It's about 13 or 14 fewer errors here this year in more games. What can you put your finger on that?
I mean, that's hard to say, too. You got pretty much the same second baseman and shortstop we had last year. First base has been a little bit of, 2 or 3 guys over there. And then third, you have a freshman for the most part, and he's done a pretty good job. Outfield's solid. I just say that they're I don't know. It's hard to say. If you take the whole season, it's been up and down. We've gone 2 weeks where we didn't hardly make an error, and we've had a game or 2 we made 4 or 5 with pitchers making 2 of them, and wet ball and all kinds of things, but we still made them, But I think overall we played pretty good defense.
Is there pressure as the home team to playing at home in a regional?
I think there is, but, we'll take that pressure every year. I think it's, we slept in a hotel for 11 nights in a row. It's nice being home and, mowing the yard and getting some things done around the house and things that got out of control. But for these players, just to be back here and relax, just hang out, not having to go to school and, getting up and coming to the ballpark and hanging out with their buddies and get a chance to play baseball in front of 10 to 12,000 people. That's a fun thing.
You mentioned ORU. What do you know about Southern Miss and DBU?
Well, I know that one of their pitchers has incredible numbers, and they can hit, and they're a team that has been ranked off and on all year, and they're just one of the top teams in the country, dangerous team. And I think a lot of people thought they might stay down there and go to Ole Miss, but they'd already played them a couple times this year, and they sent them up here, and I'm sure Ole Miss is glad they're not there. And but again, we don't even know if we're going to play them. We got to get past Oral Roberts. They've got to beat a good club too. So there's a lot that goes on. But again, it's a good regional because of the experience of the teams in the regional. DBU, they've been just about every year for the last 10 years.
Yeah, but Blaine was saying he knew in fall practice how good Casey Martin and Heston Kirstad were going to be because they had a different approach. They didn't chase pitches if they were behind in the count, things like that. I mean, could you tell in fall ball, wow, these guys are going to be really, really good?
Well, I mean, with Kirstad, he showed out pretty quick. We could tell by the way it was going for scrimmages for Heston that he was going to start. And then Martin was a guy that you'd see it one day and then the next day was okay. But athletically, we felt like he was maybe, if not the best athlete on the team, one of the top 2, fastest kid on the team, guy that has power and, good arm. I mean, he could go on and on. He could play all kinds of different positions. I don't think Casey felt like coming out of fall ball that he was going to play a whole lot, but we as coaches, we knew he would. And, he didn't start the first few games of the year. Once he got in there, it was kind of like, hey, we got to leave this guy in the lineup. And he just kind of took the position.
You say he didn't expect so many home runs. Is he surprised you with his power?
I mean, you can never project that from a freshman, no matter how big and strong they are, if they're going to hit him in the games. He could hit the ball out of the park in BP. He showed a lot of power when we, gave him the freedom to let it fly and weren't working on things. You could see the bat speed, but no, I mean, I couldn't see that as a freshman.
Gates, your first baseman from now on.
Yeah, I mean, Gates will play. He hits lefties fine, and left to right, I think right now he's our guy.
You guys have won regionals at home. You won them on the road. All teams have. But as dominant as you've been at home, I think Arkansas is about 500 at home in regionals. I mean, sort of what's your approach about that? If people just think, well, Arkansas went 29-3 at home, they got this regional sewed up,
No, I think people probably won't think that. If they do, then they don't know college baseball. It's wide open right now. We have to play good, and these teams come in here, and it's like a new season, and it starts over, and it doesn't matter what you did last week or 2 weeks ago. It's all about now. So, again, just get our guys ready. I feel good that we have a chance to be healthy, and that's always a good thing, especially at this time of year. And there's some teams that probably are feeling they're banged up, and they're probably worried about it. At least we know that we have a shot to put our more experienced players on the field, and they have a chance to get out there and compete when they're healthy.
Ramage to be a factor.
Yeah, no doubt. He good pitcher. He's a guy that we had available if we were to win that game on Saturday against LSU. He probably would have started on Sunday yesterday. So we have confidence in him. He gave us almost five strong innings against a really good hitting Georgia team on the road, and whether we use him out of the pen, and that's where we see him, he could definitely be a factor for us.
You look at the All-SEC honors. You had four-year players who are from the state of Arkansas, played high school ball here. Not California, not Texas, not Florida, little bitty old Arkansas. What did you think about that? And what does that say maybe about Arkansas high school baseball?
Well, that obviously I've said it for years. It's gotten better and better as time goes on. There's very good coaches at the high school level, little league level, and then you some of these travel teams that put together they're kind of for those that aren't in the know, they're basically like little all-star teams from around the state. And we get to go recruit these kids and see them in bunches on weekends most of the time, and they're playing with guys that that have the same aspirations they do, and that's play college baseball at the highest level. And it's gotten better over the years. So just proud of those guys, and we feel like there's more coming. We've got a few committed that I can't mention yet. They're too young, and guys that we're going to be looking at here shortly. Coach Thompson's out and about right now, so excited about the in-state kids as always.
Campbell gives you 5 really good innings, and then they start hitting him a little bit in the 6th. How do you get him over that threshold, or is that kind of where it is?
Well, I took him out one time in the 3rd inning, and people were, why'd you take him out? Well, we were trying to build him up a little bit, and he was throwing okay, but we could see it fading a little bit. I thought he threw great for 5 innings, and there was a delay in there for an hour and a half. So, if we don't have that delay and he keeps going, he might have given us 6. We just monitor it. If he's rolling after 6, we'll give him another one. And but you just you learn your team with time, and he threw I think 83 pitches the other day, and he had the leadoff walk, and he walked the 9-hole hitter. That's what hurt. Then their leadoff man is one of their best players. And he got into a hitter's count and got a 3-1 fastball, and he hit it out of the park, ended up being the difference in the game. So we'll keep a close eye on him, but he'll be ready to pitch this weekend when we call on him.
What was Coach Johnson and Coach Thompson's reaction to seeing Dallas Baptist? Did they have a reaction to seeing Dallas Baptist pop up?
No, I don't feel like too much. I mean, we. To us, like I said, it's just a good team. We knew it was going to be a good team. It was either going to be one of the Oklahoma schools, going to be Missouri State, somebody from Texas, or whoever. They're all good, and I think as a coach or a player, if you start hoping you getting somebody in your regional, I don't think that's a good thing.
You kind of surprised they didn't send Missouri State?
No, I'm kind of. I would have maybe been surprised if they did this year, to be honest with you. They won their league, they won the tournament, They've been here a few times over the last few years, and I think that they just decided to send them somewhere else. So, yeah, it doesn't really surprise me.
That's what I was going to say. You've been a 2 seed in Arizona. You've been a 2 seed in Virginia, but you've also been sent to Oklahoma. And last year you had all these teams that were within 3 hours. This year, a little bit further. Is there any rhyme or reason to, as you understand it, how they send or assign teams?
Well, the only thing that I know is if a team wins their league and wins their tournament, you're going to maybe give them a break over somebody else. If somebody, didn't just won their league, lost their tournament, or vice versa, maybe you're going to send them to a little tougher seed. But I think, obviously, when it gets down to a certain point, there's really not too many that there's too much difference. So, it's just hard. It's hard to predict it. But I think they start putting this thing together. It's not like they do it in a couple-hour span. I think they're moving those pieces around for a while until they finally get it where they feel comfortable.
You said you like playing the early game. Do you get any say as the host team into what game you get to play, or is it TV, NCAA?
I think we can put in a request.
Hope that's not one of your players.
Let's hope not. Yeah, I think we can, request one game or the other. I saw where Florida's playing the first game, and I know some of the coaches that have been around that when they're in, they would obviously they would like to play the first game. Now, it doesn't always happen, but I'm good with it.
Dave, you've been to a ton of these now. I mean, do you still get just as excited as you did earlier?
Oh yeah, it's it's like our whole year of a college baseball coach. It's just the way it works. You're in the summer, you're trying to keep players from signing, see which one of your players you're going to sign. You're recruiting, you move into fall ball, you start piecing it together on what you're thinking. You get to the off season, starts to build. You're looking forward to January, February, you get here, and then it's the grind of the season, and it's such a reward to get here and have a chance to continue on because, our goal is to play for another month. So, I'd say I'm just as excited. Maybe I don't show it quite as much in certain situations, but inside it's definitely a thrill every time you see your name come up on that board where you're at.
I think it's supposed to be sunny this weekend, no rain in the forecast.
That's great.
After Hoover, especially, how excited. And you guys had kind of a rough season here with weather. How excited are you? Well, it's going to be hot, but it's going to not be raining.
It's okay. It's into the season. We expect it to be hot, and it's nice knowing that when you get up in the morning you're going to play, you have to fight weather. That's going to be a great thing for everybody involved.
How much do you wear your power stance in the dugout?
Yeah, the power stance, whatever.
TV made a big deal.
Yeah, that's comical. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of coaches stand like that. It's comfortable. We don't want to sit down on the top step or anything, lean against anything. So it's I don't know. I haven't thought about it till you just said something to me about it. I don't know.
Did you know that Carson has started doing it as well?
I saw Carson on a picture, and I asked him about it, and he just kind of ran away from me. So, I think he was trying to send me a message that, I kind of was imitating you, but really I wasn't. So, the way I look at it, I don't really care. So.